Hi, it's JFK assassination researcher Richard Hooke, and this is the new book, The Killer Queen, that I've completed with Rachel White in 2019, Rachel White of the United Kingdom. And I just wanted to talk to you for a little bit about this new book that we've written, so you can understand how we came to some of our conclusions. Okay. So here, I'm just going to read this out here. I'm not a great speaker, but I just wanted to explain so people would understand, because we've come a long way in JFK research to get to this point. And I just wanted to kind of re-explain a little bit so you can understand it in its entirety to where we got today. When I first became serious about JFK assassination research about 10 years ago, I thought I'd begun with an open mind, because I've always said if I had discovered Oswald had shot someone or fired any shots at all, I would have been the first one to say it. Never having served in any branch of the military, alphabet agencies, or been employed by the U.S. government in any capacity during my lifetime, I believed I was not predisposed and was approaching my research with an open mind. My research originally was prompted by my 13-year-old son, who asked me to research the JFK assassination and report back to him exactly what happened. That was a little over 10 years ago when Brett asked me that one night after we'd watched the movie JFK in the family room. So from 2009 until the summer of 2018, I never even considered Jackie Kennedy was in any way part of the conspiracy. Although looking back now, there was an extremely large number of odd and unanswered questions concerning Jackie Kennedy's actions before, during, and after the assassination. I'd always had a mental block because of the never-ending media bombardment about Camelot and glamorous jet-setter Jackie Kennedy, and so I subconsciously dismissed many large clues pointing to her collusion. And the same goes for the Secret Service. As I'd come to believe they were complicit and had backed off the car, but in light of Secret Service agent Clint Hill's limited hangout crying display on the Larry King media propaganda show and Clint Eastwood's heroic portrayal of a Secret Service agent at the movies, I was predisposed not to believe the Secret Service would actually have had a shooter. That, combined with the fact my recent investigations, thanks to research great Eustace Mullins, have revealed the primary purpose of the Secret Service is to protect the interests of the Federal Reserve. The Secret Service is a foreign, non-governmental agency paid directly from the International Monetary Fund and is an Illuminati organization, unapproved by Congress, that operates illegally under the Constitution. It's all a smokescreen to deceive, as the Secret Service provides zero genuine protection for our president and is simply provided by the elites to protect their money flow. My recent investigations have also revealed the satanic Illuminati Jesuits have penetrated and corrupted the Catholic Church. And Jackie Kennedy was an Illuminati Jesuit CIA agent for the elites to protect their money. In my second book, 12 Shots That Shook the World, I mentioned JFK researcher Alan Lamont's theory that Jackie Kennedy was a shooter, and researcher William Cooper's theory that the Secret Service O&I driver William Greer was a shooter, but dismissed those theories as not having been likely because of my fake news, mainstream media propaganda brainwashing, my lack of education about the real purpose of the Secret Service, and the satanic Illuminati penetration and corruption of the Catholic Church. And in hindsight, I now realize it was the Zionist Hollywood mainstream media brainwashing I've received in their propaganda movie Parkland that, in my considered researcher's opinion, is loaded with untruths and lies, which prevented me from understanding what really went down at Parkland Hospital when JFK and J.D. Tippit were both at Parkland on 11/22/63 during the 12:40 to 2:20 p.m. time frame. During the summer of 2018, I was making a video on the number of shots, and when I came to the end, wanting to be completely honest, I said, well, the doctors at Parkland and Bethesda did say JFK had wounds of entry obscured by clotted blood in both of his temples. What are we to make of that? And instantly, all the JFK research great William Cooper has told us about the Secret Service driver having shot JFK came flooding back. And as the Zapruder film clearly shows, the driver, SSA William Greer, stopped the car and, grasping a pistol in his left hand, turned and shot JFK a mere 6 feet away in the left temple, leaving no exit wound because Greer used a special CIA-issue pneumatic pistol that shot a deadly toxin pellet that, having entered JFK's left temple, exploded deadly shellfish toxin throughout the president's brain. I proceeded to expound my new theory on Facebook, prompting an uproar in the JFK research community. And while they were busy berating and criticizing me, assisted by Facebook, which continually banned me for various posts exposing our true history deemed against their community standards, I began to investigate everyone other than JFK inside the presidential limousine as having been complicit in the hit. Rachel White and I began to examine the Zapruder film frame by frame because I was beginning to suspect the CIA conspirators Alan Dulles and David Morales would have required Jackie to be a shooter, because Jackie clearly set up and saw the driver shoot JFK. The CIA would have required Jackie to be a shooter so they could be absolutely certain JFK was killed. And Jackie would be completely and forever hooked into the conspiracy and thus would never talk or tell her children. I discovered there's a wealth of information on the internet about Jackie Kennedy having been a CIA Illuminati Jesuit plant in the Kennedy family since 1951. And I recalled a few other clues pointing to Jackie's participation in the hit I'd picked up on during my many interviews with disc manager of the Holland Avenue Safe House during the summer and fall of '63, Rod McKenzie. Sure enough, eventually Rachel and I arrived at Zapruder frame 313, and that clearly shows a shot going straight up through the left side of JFK's head high into the air, and also shows the vertex of that gun blast unquestionably originating from Jackie's left hand. Inside the lamb chop hand puppet Jackie had been given over the chain link fence at Love Field, the little dog witness Jean Hill, the lady in red, standing on the infield, said was rising up under JFK's face at the time he was shot. All of a sudden, all of the disparate clues, which never made any sense before, all centered around Jackie Kennedy, started to fall in place for me. The reason she sat so far away from JFK in her bright pink suit, back in the corner of the car, didn't help JFK in any way while he was getting shot, other than to pull JFK's left arm and hand away from his face. Obviously, as Rachel White so readily observed, to clear out the left side of JFK's head so Greer and Jackie could shoot JFK in the head. And then witness Charles Brem, a combat veteran, who was standing right next to Jackie on the infield grass, said the shots came from in front of or beside the president. And a short distance away, a clump of the president's skull, brain material, and hair, along with a short-range pistol bullet, came to rest by the infield manhole cover, obviously having fallen down and come to rest on top of the lawn from a vertical shot, as opposed to a horizontal shot, not having burrowed itself into the lawn or caused any divot. It just tumbled down back on top of the lawn with his brain material, the short-range pistol bullet. Witness Charles Brem was always at a loss to explain why he was never called before the Warren Commission. to testify, and the Warren Commission attorney Arlen Specter had yelled at witness Jean Hill, said she was crazy for saying there was a little dog inside the car that Jackie and JFK were looking down at, and Jackie's palm pistol bullet discovered by Deputy Sheriff Buddy Walters was stolen away by the complicit cleanup man, FBI agent Robert Barrett, who was photographed by freelance photographer Jim Murray, putting Jackie's short-range pistol bullet inside his suit jacket pocket, and it was never seen again. Warren Commission attorney Arlen Specter omitted that bullet from his magic bullet theory to frame the complicit U.S. government patsy Lee Harvey Oswald and to cover up the complicity of assassins CIA Jackie Kennedy and the SS O&I limo driver William Greer. Rachel White and I are extremely proud to present to you The Killer Queen, the conclusion of our citizens' investigation into the murder of President John F. Kennedy. At long last, the real truth about how the Illuminati CIA deep state murdered JFK and overthrew the United States of America by coup d'etat on November 22nd, 1963. Thank you very much. Richard Hooke signing off.